Today, I met a boy. He sat down quietly, shoulders slightly hunched, eyes drifting away. His nose was covered in old blackheads, the kind that had been there for a while. I smiled gently. "Sit comfortably. It won't hurt, I promise." He didn't say anything, just nodded lightly, as if he didn't want to bother anyone with his presence. I picked up my tweezers, the curved tip kind I use for stubborn pores. His skin was thick, and his pores were wide open. The blackheads weren't fresh. They were deeply embedded, lying there like they had given up on being removed. I placed the tweezers at the edge, pressed gently, and the first one popped out, smooth and clean. I took a breath and began to speak, not to him directly, but to the space between us. When I was younger, my skin wasn't great either. Pimples everywhere. But the worst part wasn't the pimple. It was how people looked at me, and how I stopped looking at myself. He didn't respond, but I noticed his hand tightening slightly on his shirt. Every time I removed another blackhead, I felt like I was lifting more than just debris. There was something else under the skin, something unspoken. Shame, insecurity, maybe even the feeling of being invisible. You see, boys aren't taught to care for their skin. They're told to toughen up. Don't be vain. Don't complain. Just be a man. But skin doesn't know gender. It gets clogged. It gets inflamed. It hurts, quietly. I kept working. The nose was packed, thick clusters of blackheads, some dry and crusted, others moist and ready. One was especially deep, embedded like a secret. I angled my tweezers and pulled slowly. A long, soft white plug slid out, like a breath held too long. Even heroes need a good facial once in a while, you know. That made him smile. Just a little. But it was real. There was a time I thought I was just someone who popped pimples. But the more I do this, the more I realize I'm not just cleaning skin. I'm touching what people hide. The part of themselves they think is too gross, too embarrassing, too hard to talk about. When I handed him the mirror, he looked into it, not to admire, but to see if the person staring back was still himself. "Beautiful skin isn't about impressing others," I said softly. "It's about not feeling ashamed when you look in the mirror." No one told boys that skin needs healing too, that they're allowed to care, that they deserve comfort, gentleness, attention. I don't know if he'll come back. But today, I think I helped him a little. Not just his nose, but his heart. I removed a few blackheads. And maybe, just maybe, I also removed a little fear, a little weight, a little silence. If someone asks me tomorrow what I do for a living, I'll say this: I heal people with my hands and a tiny pair of tweezers. Now, enjoy the rest of the video with the soft music I picked just for you. Stay hydrated, stay gentle, and most of all, stay hopeful. See you next time. Pimple misses out.